Welcome to Quiz with Us. Get ready for NEET PG 2026 Ophthalmology, Set 1. This video has 100 high-yield MCQ questions covering ocular anatomy, cornea and anterior segment, glaucoma, retina and vitreous, UV and cataract, neuro-ophthalmology, ocular motility, pediatric ophthalmology, ocular pharmacology, and optics and refraction. Listen carefully to each question and all 4 options, then choose your answer. The correct answer and detailed explanation follow each question. Let's begin. All the best. Question 1. The thickest part of the lens capsule is the option A, posterior equator. Option B, anterior pole. Option C, posterior pole. Option D, anterior equator, pre-equatorial. The correct answer is B. Anterior pole. The lens capsule is thickest at the anterior equator, pre-equatorial zone, -21 m, where zonular fibers insert. The posterior pole is thinnest, -4 m, making it susceptible to perforation during ecchi. Question 2. The layer of the cornea that regenerates completely after injury is option A, Descemet's membrane. Option B, epithelium. Option C, Bowman's layer. Option D, stroma. The correct answer is B. Epithelium. The corneal epithelium, 5 to 6 cell layers, regenerates fully after injury via stem cells at the limbus. Bowman's layer does not regenerate, its injury leaves a permanent opacity. Question 3. Canal of Schlemm drains aqueous into option A, choroidal vessels. Option B, ciliary body venous plexus. Option C, suprachoroidal space. Option D, episcleral veins. The correct answer is D. Episcleral veins. Aqueous humor flows through the trabecular meshwork, canal of Schlemm, collector channels, episcleral veins, and then systemic venous circulation. Question 4. The fovea centralis contains exclusively option A, cones only. Option B, Muller cells only. Option C, rods. Option D, rods and cones. The correct answer is A. Cones only. The fovea, 200 m diameter, contains only cone photoreceptors, the highest visual acuity zone. Rods are absent in the fovea and increase in density towards the peripheral retina. Question 5. The normal horizontal diameter of the adult cornea is option A, 8 to 9 mm. Option B, 10 to 11 mm. Option C, 12 to 13 mm. Option D, 13 to 14 mm. The correct answer is C. 12 to 13 mm. Adult corneal horizontal diameter is 11 to 12 mm, average 11.7 mm, vertical is slightly less, 10.6 mm. Values greater than 13 mm suggest megalocornea or ophthalmos. Question 6. Which layer of the retina is avascular? Option A, photoreceptor and outer nuclear layers. Option B, nerve fiber layer. Option C, inner nuclear layer. Option D, outer plexiform layer. The correct answer is C. Inner nuclear layer. The outer retina, photoreceptors plus outer nuclear layer, is avascular and receives nutrition from the choriocapillaris via the RPE. This makes it vulnerable in retinal detachment. Question 7. The nasolacrimal duct opens into the option A, inferior meatus. Option B, common meatus. Option C, superior meatus. Option D, middle meatus. The correct answer is A. Inferior meatus. The nasolacrimal duct opens into the inferior meatus of the nasal cavity beneath the inferior turbinate at Hasner's valve. Blockage here causes epiphora in infants. Question 8. The optic disc is located approximately how many millimeters nasal to the fovea? Option A, 3.5 millimeters. Option B, 5 millimeters. Option C, 1 millimeters. Option D, 2 millimeters. The correct answer is C, 1 millimeters. The optic disc is located approximately 3.5 millimeters or 15 degrees nasal and slightly superior to the fovea. Its absence of photoreceptors creates the physiological blind spot. Question 9. Vitreous humor is composed mainly of option A, hyaluronic acid and collagen type 2 fibrils. Option B, albumin and globulin. Option C, glycogen and lipids. Option D, mucopolysaccharides only. The correct answer is A, hyaluronic acid and collagen type 2 fibrils. The vitreous gel, 98% water, is supported by a network of collagen type 2 fibrils cross-linked with hyaluronic acid. Syncytius senilis and asteroid hyalosis are age-related vitreous changes. Question 10. The ora serrata marks the junction between option A, choroid and ciliary body. Option B, neurosensory retina and pars plana of ciliary body. Option C, RPE and Bruch's membrane. Option D, cornea and sclera. The correct answer is D, cornea and sclera. The ora serrata is the anterior termination of the neurosensory retina where it meets the pars plana of the ciliary body, 6 to 8 mm posterior to the limbus. Question 11. Munson's sign in keratoconus refers to option A, bulging of lower eyelid on downgaze. Option B, Flesher's iron ring. Option C, Voigt's striae. Option D, oil droplet reflex on retinoscopy. The correct answer is C, Voigt's striae. Munson's sign is the V-shaped bulging of the lower eyelid when the patient looks down, due to the cone-shaped protrusion of the cornea in keratoconus. Flesher's ring is iron deposition at the cone base. Question 12. The most common organism causing corneal ulcer in contact lens wearers is option A, Acanthamoeba. Option B, Streptococcus pneumoniae. Option C, Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Option D, Staphylococcus aureus. The correct answer is A, Acanthamoeba. Pseudomonas aeruginosa is the most common cause of corneal ulcer in contact lens wearers, causing a rapidly progressive, necrotic ulcer with a ring infiltrate. Question 13. Dendritic ulcer of the cornea is pathognomonic of option A, herpes simplex keratitis. Option B, fungal keratitis. Option C, bacterial keratitis. Option D, Acanthamoeba keratitis. The correct answer is C, bacterial keratitis. The dendritic, branching, ulcer with terminal bulbs and central epithelial loss staining with fluorescein is pathognomonic of herpes simplex keratitis. Treatment, topical acyclovir or trifluridine. Question 14. Interstitial keratitis, non-syphilitic, most common, is caused by option A, tuberculosis. Option B, congenital syphilis. Option C, herpes simplex. Option D, leprosy. The correct answer is C, herpes simplex. In the modern era, HSV is the most common cause of interstitial keratitis. Classically, congenital syphilis was the most common overall cause, Hutchinson's triad, interstitial keratitis, notched incisors, deafness. Question 15. Band-shaped keratopathy is characterized by calcium deposition in the option A, Descemet's membrane. Option B, stroma. Option C, Bowman's layer and superficial stroma. Option D, epithelium only. The correct answer is C, Bowman's layer and superficial stroma. Band keratopathy, calcium hydroxyatide deposition, occurs in Bowman's layer and superficial stroma in the interpalpebral zone, associated with chronic uveitis, hypercalcemia, and gout. Question 16. Corneal graft rejection episode is characterized by which line on endothelium? Option A, Hudson-Stehly line. Option B, Vogt's striae. Option C, Flesher's ring. Option D, Koch-Dost line. The correct answer is B, Vogt's striae. Koch-Dost line, endothelial rejection line, is a line of keratic precipitates on the corneal endothelium advancing from the periphery to the center, representing immune cell attack on donor endothelium. Question 17. Fuchs' endothelial dystrophy is characterized by all except option A, decreased endothelial cell count. Option B, improved vision in the evening. Option C, guttata, corneal warts. Option D, autosomal dominant inheritance. The correct answer is B, improved vision in the evening. In Fuchs' dystrophy, vision is worse in the morning due to overnight corneal oedema and improves during the day as evaporation clears oedema. All other features are typical of Fuchs'. Question 18. The most common type of corneal graft performed is option A, DOC. Option B, ZEC. Option C, lamellar keratoplasty. Option D, penetrating keratoplasty. The correct answer is D, penetrating keratoplasty. Penetrating keratoplasty, full-thickness corneal transplant, remains the most commonly performed corneal graft worldwide. ZEC and DMEK are preferred for endothelial disease. Question 19. Acanthamoeba keratitis characteristically shows option A, hypopyon without pain. Option B, central deciform keratitis. Option C, dendritic ulcer with satellite lesions. Option D, ring infiltrate with radial keratoneuritis. The correct answer is D, ring infiltrate with radial keratoneuritis. Acanthamoeba keratitis shows a ring infiltrate with radial perineural infiltrates, keratoneuritis, and severe pain disproportionate to signs. Strongly associated with soft contact lens use. Question 20. Descemet's membrane is secreted by option A, limbal stem cells. Option B, stromal keratocytes. Option C, corneal epithelium. Option D, corneal endothelium. The correct answer is B, stromal keratocytes. Descemet's membrane, posterior basement membrane of the cornea, is secreted by the corneal endothelium. It is rich in collagen type intravenous and 8 and continues to thicken throughout life. Question 21. Normal intraocular pressure range is option A, 5 to 10 mm of mercury. Option B, 10 to 21 mm of mercury. Option C, 20 to 25 mm of mercury. Option D, 25 to 30 mm of mercury. The correct answer is B, 10 to 21 mm of mercury. Normal IOP is 10 to 21 mm of mercury, means 16 mm of mercury. Values above 21 mm of mercury are statistically elevated. Glaucomatous damage can occur at normal IOP, normal tension glaucoma. Question 22. Immediate treatment of acute angle closure glaucoma is option A, trabeculectomy. Option B, pilocarpine 2% alone. Option C, intravenous acetazolamide plus timolol plus pilocarpine plus analgesics. Option D, laser peripheral iridotomy immediately. The correct answer is A, trabeculectomy. Acute angle closure crisis, immediate medical reduction of IOP with intravenous acetazolamide 500 mg, topical timolol, pilocarpine 2 to 4%, and analgesia. Once IOP is controlled, laser peripheral iridotomy, LPI, is definitive treatment. Question 23. The cup-disc ratio considered suspicious for glaucoma is option A, 0.9. Option B, 0.3. Option C, 0.5. Option D, 0.6. The correct answer is B, 0.3. A cup-disc ratio above 0.6 or asymmetry of more than 0.2 between eyes is suspicious for glaucoma. Normal CD ratio is less than 0.5. Progressive cupping is the hallmark of glaucomatous optic neuropathy. Question 24. Goldmann applanation tonometry is based on the principle of option A, applanation of a fixed force. Option B, rebound induction. Option C, corneal indentation. Option D, applanation of a fixed area of cornea. The correct answer is D, applanation of a fixed area of cornea. Goldmann tonometry uses the Imbert-Fick principle. A fixed area, 3.06 mm diameter, is applanated, and the force required equals the IOP. It is the gold standard for IOP measurement. Question 25. Krickenberg spindle in pigmentary glaucoma is deposited on option A, anterior lens capsule. Option B, iris surface. Option C, angle structures. Option D, posterior corneal endothelium, vertical spindle. The correct answer is D, posterior corneal endothelium, vertical spindle. Krickenberg spindle is a vertical spindle-shaped deposition of pigment on the posterior corneal endothelium, characteristic of pigmentary dispersion syndrome. Pigment also deposits on the trabecular meshwork. Question 26. Pseudoexfoliation syndrome shows deposition of fibrillar material on option A, posterior corneal endothelium. Option B, iris pigment epithelium only. Option C, trabecular meshwork only. Option D, anterior lens capsule, central disc plus peripheral zone. The correct answer is B, iris pigment epithelium only. Pseudoexfoliation shows whitish fibrillar material on the anterior lens capsule, central disc plus peripheral zone separated by a clear middle zone from zonular rubbing. It is the most common identifiable cause of secondary open-angle glaucoma worldwide. Question 27. Steroid-induced glaucoma is a type of option A, normal tension glaucoma. Option B, secondary angle closure glaucoma. Option C, acute angle closure glaucoma. Option D, secondary open-angle glaucoma. The correct answer is D, secondary open-angle glaucoma. Steroids, topical more than systemic, reduce trabecular meshwork outflow facility, causing secondary open-angle glaucoma. Approximately 5 to 6% of the general population are high steroid responders. Question 28. The visual field defect first appearing in primary open-angle glaucoma is option A, altitudinal defect. Option B, paracentral scotoma, obgerun's scotoma. Option C, bitemporal hemianopia. Option D, peripheral constriction. The correct answer is B, paracentral scotoma, obgerun's scotoma. The earliest visual field defect in POG is a paracentral scotoma in the bjerum area, arcuate region, 10 to 20 degrees from fixation, followed by bjerum's arcuate scotoma and Ronay's nasal step. Question 29. Which drug is contraindicated in acute angle closure glaucoma? Option A, pilocarpine. Option B, tropicamide. Option C, acetazolamide. Option D, timolol. The correct answer is D, timolol. Tropicamide, Mydriatic, is absolutely contraindicated in acute angle closure as it dilates the pupil, further blocking aqueous flow and worsening the attack. All other listed drugs reduce IOP. Question 30. Trabeculectomy creates drainage by option A, destroying ciliary body. Option B, creating a fistula between anterior chamber and subconjunctival space. Option C, widening the trabecular meshwork. Option D, inserting a shunt into Schlemm's canal. The correct answer is B, creating a fistula between anterior chamber and subconjunctival space. Trabeculectomy creates a partial thickness scleral flap with a sclerectomy, allowing aqueous to drain from the anterior chamber to the subconjunctival space, forming a filtering bleb. Question 31. Normal tension glaucoma is characterized by option A, angle closure mechanism. Option B, IOP always below 10 mm of mercury. Option C, glaucomatous optic neuropathy with IOP consistently 21 mm of mercury or below. Option D, no visual field defects. The correct answer is A, angle closure mechanism. Normal tension glaucoma shows glaucomatous optic disc cupping and visual field defects with IOP consistently within the normal range. Vascular dysregulation and nocturnal hypertension are implicated. Question 32. Latanoprost, prostaglandin analog, lowers IOP by option A, reducing aqueous production. Option B, increasing uveoscleral outflow. Option C, increasing trabecular outflow. Option D, causing osmotic dehydration of vitreous. The correct answer is B, increasing uveoscleral outflow. Prostaglandin analogues, latanoprost, bimetoprost, travoprost, primarily lower IOP by increasing uveoscleral, non-conventional, outflow. Side effects include iris heterochromia, eyelash lengthening, and periorbital fat atrophy. Question 33. Central retinal artery occlusion shows on fundus. Option A, cherry-red spot at macula plus pale retina. Option B, neovascularization of disc. Option C, drusen at macula. Option D, flame hemorrhages plus disc swelling. The correct answer is C, drusen at macula. CRO, sudden painless visual loss, pale milky oedematous retina with a cherry-red spot at the fovea, underlying choroidal circulation preserved. Boxcar segmentation of vessels may be seen. Question 34. The most common cause of central retinal vein occlusion is option A, hypertension and arteriosclerosis. Option B, sickle cell disease. Option C, coagulation disorders. Option D, hypertension. The correct answer is C, coagulation disorders. Hypertension and arteriosclerosis are the most common causes of CRVO. The atherosclerotic central retinal artery compresses the adjacent central retinal vein at the lamina cribrosa. Question 35. Preproliferative diabetic retinopathy is characterized by option A, cottonwool spots, venous beading, IRMA. Option B, neovascularization of disc or elsewhere. Option C, vitreous hemorrhage. Option D, hard exudates at macula. The correct answer is C, vitreous hemorrhage. Preproliferative diabetic retinopathy, severe NPDR, follows the 4-to-1 rule, hemorrhages in 4 quadrants, venous beading in 2 quadrants, and IRMA in 1 quadrant. Question 36. Drusen in age-related macular degeneration are deposits located option A, in vitreous cortex. Option B, between RPE and Bruch's membrane. Option C, in subretinal space above RPE. Option D, in ganglion cell layer. The correct answer is B, between RPE and Bruch's membrane. Drusen are deposits of lipids, proteins, and complement components that accumulate between the RPE and Bruch's membrane. Soft confluent drusen above 63 microns are high risk for progression to wet AMD. Question 37. Bone spicule pigmentation in retinitis pigmentosa represents option A, calcium deposition. Option B, hard exudate formation. Option C, subretinal neovascularization. Option D, migration of RPE cells into the neurosensory retina along vessels. The correct answer is D, migration of RPE cells into the neurosensory retina along vessels. Bone spicule pigmentation in retinitis pigmentosa is caused by migration of RPE cells along the blood vessels into the inner retina following photoreceptor degeneration. Classic triad: waxy pale disc, attenuated vessels, bone spicules. Question 38. Rhegmatogenous retinal detachment treatment of choice is option A, scleral buckling or vitrectomy. Option B, anti-VEGF injection. Option C, cryotherapy alone. Option D, laser photocoagulation alone. The correct answer is C, cryotherapy alone. Rhegmatogenous retinal detachment requires surgery, scleral buckling, with or without cryotherapy, or pars plana vitrectomy with tamponade, gas or silicone oil. Laser photocoagulation alone is used for prophylaxis of flat breaks only. Question 39. Central serous chorioretinopathy is most common in option A, children with albinism. Option B, diabetic females over 60 years. Option C, elderly females with hypertension. Option D, young males with type A personality on steroids. The correct answer is D, young males with type A personality on steroids. CSCR, subretinal fluid accumulation at the macula due to RPE dysfunction. Classic patient, young type A personality male, associated with stress and corticosteroid use. Usually self-limiting. Question 40. Coats disease is characterized by option A, bilateral disc neovascularization. Option B, bilateral retinal detachment in infants. Option C, unilateral exudative retinal detachment with telangiectasia in young males. Option D, proliferative vitreoretinopathy. The correct answer is A, bilateral disc neovascularization. Coats disease, unilateral, non-hereditary condition in young males with retinal telangiectasia, massive exudation, and exudative retinal detachment. Must be distinguished from retinoblastoma, both cause leukocoria. Question 41. Commotio retinae, Berlin's edema, occurs after option A, optic disc infarction. Option B, blunt trauma to the posterior pole or peripheral retina. Option C, macular degeneration. Option D, vitreous base avulsion. The correct answer is B, blunt trauma to the posterior pole or peripheral retina. Commotio retinae, Berlin's edema, is photoreceptor outer segment disruption after blunt trauma, seen as gravite retinal whitening. It is usually transient and resolves without treatment. Question 42. The investigation of choice for macular hole is option A, electroretinogram. Option B, fluorescein angiography. Option C, optical coherence tomography, October. Option D, B-scan ultrasonography. The correct answer is A, electroretinogram. October is the gold standard for diagnosing macular hole, showing full-thickness foveal defect with surrounding cuff of subretinal fluid and intraretinal cysts. Treatment: pars plana vitrectomy plus ILM peel plus gas tamponade. Question 43. Photodynamic therapy with verteporfin is used for option A, proliferative diabetic retinopathy. Option B, classic subfoveal choroidal neovascularization in wet AMD. Option C, central retinal artery occlusion. Option D, retinitis pigmentosa. The correct answer is B, classic subfoveal choroidal neovascularization in wet AMD. PDT with verteporfin, Visuddine, selectively destroys subfoveal choroidal neovascular membranes in wet AMD without damaging the overlying retina. Largely replaced by anti-VEGF in practice. Question 44. Posterior vitreous detachment classically presents with option A, painless sudden visual loss. Option B, photopsia, flashes, and floaters, then possibly curtain defect if retinal detachment occurs. Option C, pain and redness. Option D, gradual color vision loss. The correct answer is B, photopsia, flashes, and floaters, then possibly curtain defect if retinal detachment occurs. Posterior vitreous detachment, edge-related separation of the vitreous cortex from the ILM of the retina. Presence with sudden photopsia and new floaters, Weiss ring. Risk of peripheral retinal break leading to rhegmatogenous retinal detachment. Question 45. Anterior uveitis is most commonly associated with option A, HLA-B51. Option B, HLA-DR4. Option C, HLA-B27. Option D, HLA-A29. The correct answer is A, HLA-B51. HLA-B27 is strongly associated with anterior uveitis, particularly in seronegative spondylorthropathies, ankylosing spondylitis, reactive arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, IBD-related arthritis. Acute unilateral recurrent anterior uveitis is the classic presentation. Question 46. The most common cause of posterior uveitis worldwide is option A, toxoplasmosis. Option B, CMV retinitis. Option C, Behçet's disease. Option D, sarcoidosis. The correct answer is C, Behçet's disease. Toxoplasma gondii is the most common cause of posterior uveitis, focal necrotizing retinochoroiditis, worldwide. The classic appearance is a headlight and fog, active white lesion adjacent to an old pigmented scar. Question 47. Snowball opacities in the vitreous are characteristic of option A, intermediate uveitis, pars planitis. Option B, posterior uveitis. Option C, endophthalmitis. Option D, anterior uveitis. The correct answer is C, endophthalmitis. Intermediate uveitis, pars planitis, is characterized by snowball vitreous opacities inferiorly and snowbanking over the pars plana. It is the most common form of uveitis in children and young adults. Question 48. The most common type of age-related cataract is option A, anterior subcapsular. Option B, posterior subcapsular. Option C, nuclear sclerosis. Option D, cortical. The correct answer is C, nuclear sclerosis. Nuclear sclerosis is the most common type of senile cataract. It begins as yellowing then browning of the nucleus with myopic shift, index myopia. Cortical and posterior subcapsular types are also common. Question 49. Snowflake cataract is classically associated with option A, hypocalcemia. Option B, galactosemia. Option C, diabetes mellitus, juvenile. Option D, Wilson's disease. The correct answer is A. Hypocalcemia. Snowflake, blizzard, cataract is the characteristic cataract of juvenile diabetes mellitus, bilateral, rapidly progressive, with white needle-shaped cortical opacities due to sorbitol accumulation. May resolve with glycemic control. Question 50. Posterior capsular opacification after cataract surgery is caused by option A, endophthalmitis. Option B, IOL dislocation. Option C, vitreous prolapse. Option D, retained lens epithelial cells, Elschnig's pearls. The correct answer is B. IOL dislocation. Posterior capsular opacification, after cataract, results from proliferation of residual equatorial lens epithelial cells on the posterior capsule, forming Elschnig's pearls. Treatment, ND, YAG laser posterior capsulotomy. Question 51. Sunflower cataract is pathognomonic of option A, galactosemia. Option B, chloroquine toxicity. Option C, sidrosis bulbi. Option D, Wilson's disease. The correct answer is D. Wilson's disease. Sunflower cataract, chalcosis lentis, a greenish disc-shaped anterior subcapsular opacity with petal-like extensions, pathognomonic of Wilson's disease, hepatolenticular degeneration, due to copper deposition. Question 52. Vogt-Koyanagi-Herdar syndrome is characterized by option A, unilateral granulomatous uveitis with choroidal detachment. Option B, bilateral granulomatous panovatus plus scoliosis plus vitiligo plus alopecia plus meningism. Option C, posterior uveitis with snowball opacities. Option D, anterior uveitis with HLA-B27. The correct answer is B. Bilateral granulomatous panovatus plus scoliosis plus vitiligo plus alopecia plus meningism. VKH, multisystem autoimmune disease against melanocytes. I, bilateral granulomatous uveitis, exudative retinal detachment, sunset glow fundus. Systemic, poliosis, white forelock, vitiligo, alopecia, sensorineural deafness, meningism. Question 53. Behçet's disease eye manifestation characteristically shows option A, choroidal detachment. Option B, granulomatous panovatus. Option C, non-granulomatous panovatus with shifting hypopyon. Option D, intermediate uveitis alone. The correct answer is A. Choroidal detachment. Behçet's disease, systemic vasculitis, HLA-B51. Ocular features, bilateral non-granulomatous panovatus, shifting hypopyon uveitis, and occlusive retinal vasculitis. Pathergy test positive. Question 54. Oil droplet reflex on retinoscopy is seen in option A, keratoconus. Option B, posterior subcapsular cataract. Option C, corneal scar. Option D, nuclear sclerosis cataract. The correct answer is C. Corneal scar. The oil droplet, or scissors, reflex on retinoscopy is characteristic of keratoconus, caused by the irregular conical corneal surface distorting the retinoscopic reflex. Nuclear cataracts give a yellow or umber reflex. Question 55. Complete third nerve palsy presents with all except option A, absent medial, superior and inferior movement. Option B, complete ptosis. Option C, pupil-sparing mydriasis. Option D, eye deviated down and out. The correct answer is A. Absent medial, superior and inferior movement. Complete CN3 palsy, ptosis, eye down and out, unopposed superior oblique plus lateral rectus, and fixed dilated pupil. Pupil-sparing CN3 palsy suggests microvascular etiology, diabetes, hypertension. Pupil involving suggests compression, posterior communicating artery aneurysm. Question 56. Fourth nerve palsy is characterized by option A, lateral gaze palsy. Option B, head tilt to opposite side, hypertropia was on contralateral gaze and ipsilateral head tilt. Option C, down and out deviation. Option D, horizontal diplopia. The correct answer is B. Head tilt to opposite side, hypertropia was on contralateral gaze and ipsilateral head tilt. CN intravenous palsy, superior oblique weakness causing ipsilateral hypertropia. Patient adopts compensatory head tilt to the opposite side. Vertical diplopia worsens on contralateral gaze and ipsilateral head tilt. Biel-Shoskowski's test positive. Question 57. Argyll-Robertson pupil is characterized by option A, fixed dilated pupil bilaterally. Option B, unilateral mydriasis with ptosis. Option C, light near dissociation, reacts to near but not light, with bilateral meiosis. Option D, reacts to light but not accommodation. The correct answer is C. Light near dissociation, reacts to near but not light, with bilateral meiosis. Argyll-Robertson pupil, neurosyphilis bilateral, irregular, meiotic pupils that accommodate but do not react to light, light near dissociation. Due to lesion in the protectal area of the midbrain. Question 58. Horner syndrome consists of option A, exophthalmos plus mydriasis plus lacrimation. Option B, ptosis plus meiosis plus cycloplegia. Option C, ptosis plus meiosis plus enophthalmos plus anhidrosis. Option D, ptosis plus mydriasis plus anhidrosis. The correct answer is C. Ptosis plus meiosis plus enophthalmos plus anhidrosis. Horner syndrome, interruption of the oculosympathetic pathway causing ipsilateral partial ptosis, Muller's muscle, meiosis, apparent enophthalmos, and anhidrosis, if preganglionic lesion. Confirmed by cocaine test and apraclonidine test. Question 59. Internuclear ophthalmoplegia is due to a lesion in option A, paramedian pontine reticular formation. Option B, CN6 nucleus. Option C, medial longitudinal fasciculus, MLF. Option D, CN3 nucleus. The correct answer is A. Paramedian pontine reticular formation. INO, lesion in the MLF, connects CN6 nucleus to contralateral CN3 nucleus. Results in ipsilateral adduction palsy on lateral gaze with contralateral abducting nystagmus. Bilateral INO in young adults suggests MS. Unilateral INO in elderly suggests brainstem infarct. Question 60. Foster-Kennedy syndrome consists of option A, ipsilateral optic atrophy plus contralateral papilloedema due to frontal lobe tumor. Option B, bilateral optic neuritis. Option C, unilateral papilloedema with homonymous hemianopia. Option D, bilateral papilloedema with contralateral optic atrophy. The correct answer is C. Unilateral papilloedema with homonymous hemianopia. Foster-Kennedy syndrome, ipsilateral optic atrophy, direct pressure on optic nerve, plus contralateral papilloedema, raised ICP, caused by an olfactory groove or sphenoid ridge meningioma, or other frontal lobe mass. Question 61. The most common cause of papilloedema in adults is option A, space-occupying lesion. Option B, cavernous sinus thrombosis. Option C, malignant hypertension. Option D, idiopathic intracranial hypertension. The correct answer is A. Space-occupying lesion. Space-occupying lesions, brain tumors, abscesses, are the most common overall cause of papilloedema in clinical practice. Idiopathic intracranial hypertension is the most common cause in young, obese females. Question 62. Optic neuritis most commonly presents with option A, altitudinal field defect alone. Option B, painless progressive visual loss over months. Option C, painful loss of vision with dyschromatopsia and positive rhabda. Option D, bitemporal visual field loss. The correct answer is A, altitudinal field defect alone. Optic neuritis, painful loss of vision, worse with eye movement, red desaturation, dyschromatopsia, central scotoma, and relative afferent pupillary defect. Strongly associated with multiple sclerosis. Treatment, intravenous methylprednisolone. Question 63. The visual field defect seen with a pituitary tumor compressing the optic chiasm is option A, monocular blindness. Option B, homonymous hemianopia. Option C, bitemporal hemianopia. Option D, binasal hemianopia. The correct answer is A, monocular blindness. A pituitary macroadenoma compresses the crossing nasal fibers of the optic chiasm, representing temporal visual fields, causing bitemporal hemianopia. The superior temporal fields are lost first. Question 64. Relative afferent pupillary defect, rhabda, is tested by option A, swinging flashlight test. Option B, pupillary dilation test. Option C, pharmacological meiosis. Option D, near reflex testing. The correct answer is C, pharmacological meiosis. Rhabda, Marcus-Gunn pupil, is detected by the swinging flashlight test. When light is swung to the affected eye, both pupils dilate, paradoxical dilatation, due to reduced afferent input from the optic nerve or severe retinal disease. Question 65. Amblyopia is defined as option A, refractive error above 6D. Option B, nystagmus in infancy. Option C, strabismus with diplopia. Option D, reduced best corrected visual acuity in a structurally normal eye due to abnormal visual development. The correct answer is D, reduced best corrected visual acuity in a structurally normal eye due to abnormal visual development. Amblyopia, lazy eye unilateral or rarely bilateral, reduced best corrected visual acuity in the absence of structural ocular pathology due to abnormal visual cortical development during the critical period. Types, strabismic, anisometropic, stimulus deprivation. Question 66. In Hirschberg corneal light reflex test, 1 mm of decentration corresponds to approximately option A, 15 prism diopters. Option B, 21 prism diopters. Option C, 7 prism diopters. Option D, 10 prism diopters. The correct answer is A, 15 prism diopters. In Hirschberg's test, each 1 mm decentration of the corneal reflex from the pupil center equals approximately 15 prism diopters, or 7 degrees, of deviation. Reflex at pupil edge is approximately 45 prism diopters, at limbus approximately 90 prism diopters. Question 67. Duane's retraction syndrome most commonly affects option A, both eyes equally in type 2. Option B, superior oblique muscle preferentially. Option C, right eye, type 3, limitation of both abduction and adduction. Option D, left eye, type I, limitation of abduction with globe retraction on adduction. The correct answer is D, left eye, type I, limitation of abduction with globe retraction on adduction. Duane's retraction syndrome, congenital coinnervation anomaly. Most common is type I, 80%, with limitation of abduction. Left eye is more commonly affected. Globe retraction and narrowing of palpebral fissure on adduction are pathognomonic. Question 68. Worth 4-dot test is used to assess option A, depth of amblyopia. Option B, Binocular vision status, fusion, suppression, or diplopia. Option C, angle of deviation. Option D, version movements. The correct answer is B. Binocular vision status, fusion, suppression, or diplopia. Worth 4-dot test. 4 illuminated dots, 2 green, 1 red, 1 white, viewed through red-green goggles. Assesses binocular status, normal fusion, 4 dots, suppression, 2 or 3 dots only, or diplopia, 5 dots. Question 69. The Maddox rod test measures option A, stereoacuity. Option B, Worth 4-dot fusion grade. Option C, amplitude of accommodation. Option D, heterophoria, latent squint. The correct answer is D. Heterophoria, latent squint. The Maddox rod converts a white light into a red streak for one eye. When the streak does not pass through the light seen by the other eye, there is aphoria, latent deviation. Exophoria, streak to same side, esophoria, to opposite side, crossed. Question 70. Convergent squint with high ACE ratio responds best to option A, botulinum toxin to medial rectus. Option B, occlusion therapy alone. Option C, bifocal glasses plus lenses to reduce accommodative convergence. Option D, lateral rectus resection. The correct answer is A. Botulinum toxin to medial rectus. Accommodative esotropia with high ACE ratio is treated with bifocal spectacles, reading segment to reduce near convergence demand, or myotics, not primarily surgery. Question 71. Nystagmus occurring at extreme positions of gaze in normal individuals is called option A, optokinetic nystagmus. Option B, pendular nystagmus. Option C, physiological endpoint nystagmus. Option D, jerk nystagmus. The correct answer is A. Optokinetic nystagmus. Endpoint, physiological, nystagmus occurs at extreme positions of gaze, usually beyond 40 to 45 degrees, in normal individuals. It is fine, unsustained, and has no pathological significance. Question 72. The Prismacover test measures option A, fusion vergence range. Option B, suppression scotoma. Option C, phoria only. Option D, total deviation, tropia plus phoria combined. The correct answer is D. Total deviation, tropia plus phoria combined. The alternate Prismacover test dissociates binocular vision completely and measures total deviation, manifest plus latent components combined. It is the most accurate clinical method for quantifying strabismus. Question 73. The most common intraocular malignancy in children is option A, retinoblastoma. Option B, rhabdomyosarcoma. Option C, choroidal melanoma. Option D, medulloepithelioma. The correct answer is C. Choroidal melanoma. Retinoblastoma is the most common primary intraocular malignancy in children. Presence with leukocoria, white pupillary reflex, strabismus, and proptosis in advanced disease. Question 74. The mutation in retinoblastoma affects option A, BRCA1 gene. Option B, APC gene on chromosome 5. Option C, P53 tumor suppressor gene. Option D, RB1 gene on chromosome 13q14. The correct answer is D. RB1 gene on chromosome 13q14. Retinoblastoma is caused by biallelic inactivation of the RB1 tumor suppressor gene on chromosome 13q14. Knudson's two-hit hypothesis, both alleles must be inactivated. Hereditary type is bilateral, multifocal, and germline. Question 75. Retinopathy of prematurity screening should be done in all infants. Option A, less than 32 weeks gestation or birth weight less than 1500 g. Option B, less than 28 weeks gestation only. Option C, all neonates in NICU regardless of gestation. Option D, less than 37 weeks gestation or birth weight less than 2000 g. The correct answer is C. All neonates in NICU regardless of gestation. ROP screening, infants less than 32 weeks gestational age or birth weight less than 1500 g, plus selected infants between 1500 to 2000 g with unstable clinical course. First exam at 4 weeks postnatal age or 31 weeks post-menstrual age, whichever is later. Question 76. Ophthalmos, oxeye, in congenital glaucoma occurs because option A, proptosis from orbital mass. Option B, vitreous expansion. Option C, increased lens size. Option D, corneal and scleral stretching due to elevated IOP in infants when the coats are still elastic. The correct answer is D. Corneal and scleral stretching due to elevated IOP in infants when the coats are still elastic. In infants below 3 years, raised IOP stretches the corneoscleral coat, still elastic, causing ophthalmos, enlarged globe, hubs striae, horizontal descemet tears, photophobia, and blepharospasm. Question 77. Congenital nasolacrimal duct obstruction most commonly resolves spontaneously by option A, 3 months. Option B, 12 months. Option C, 24 months. Option D, 36 months. The correct answer is B. 12 months. Approximately 95% of congenital nasolacrimal duct obstruction cases resolve spontaneously by 12 months of age. Management, lacrimal sac massage, Krigler technique, plus topical antibiotics for mucopurulent discharge. Question 78. The treatment of choice for amblyopia is option A, correction of refractive error plus occlusion of the better eye. Option B, atropine penalization of the amblyopic eye. Option C, anti-VEGF injection. Option D, surgery first. The correct answer is C. Anti-VEGF injection. Amblyopia treatment, full optical correction, glasses, plus patching, occlusion of the sound eye to force use of the amblyopic eye. Must be started before closure of the critical period, approximately 7 to 8 years. Question 79. Capillary hemangioma of the orbit in children is best treated with option A, systemic steroids. Option B, intralesional triamcinolone. Option C, surgical excision. Option D, oral propranolol, systemic beta blocker. The correct answer is D. Oral propranolol, systemic beta blocker. Infantile hemangioma, oral propranolol, 1 to 3 mg kilograms day, is now first-line treatment. It causes vasoconstriction, inhibits VEGF, and induces apoptosis. Intralesional steroids and surgery are alternatives if propranolol is contraindicated. Question 80. Coloboma of the iris results from failure of closure of the option A, lateral optic vesicle. Option B, posterior optic cup. Option C, superior optic fissure. Option D, inferior, embryonic, optic fissure. The correct answer is D. Inferior, embryonic, optic fissure. Coloboma, keyhole, pupil, results from failure of fusion of the embryonic, inferior, optic fissure, causing a gap inferonically in the alveolar tissue. Associated with Charge syndrome. Question 81. Timolol maleate eye drops are contraindicated in option A, bronchial asthma and heart block. Option B, ocular hypertension. Option C, secondary glaucoma. Option D, open-angle glaucoma. The correct answer is C. Secondary glaucoma. Timolol, non-selective beta blocker, lowers IOP by reducing aqueous production. Absolutely contraindicated in bronchial asthma, COPD, sinus bradycardia, and 2ND3-RD degree AV block due to systemic absorption. Question 82. Cyclopentolate is preferred over atropine for cycloplegia in children because option A, longer duration of action. Option B, shorter duration, 6 to 24 hours, and fewer systemic side effects. Option C, greater cycloplegic potency. Option D, does not cause photophobia. The correct answer is B. Shorter duration, 6 to 24 hours, and fewer systemic side effects. Cyclopentolate provides adequate cycloplegia with onset in 30 to 60 minutes and recovery in 24 hours. Atropine lasts 10 to 14 days and has higher risk of systemic antimuscarinic toxicity. Atropine is still used for penalization and dark eye rides. Question 83. Brimonidine, alpha-2 adrenergic agonist, lowers IOP by option A, increasing trabecular outflow only. Option B, decreasing aqueous production and increasing uveoscleral outflow. Option C, osmotic dehydration of vitreous. Option D, pupillary constriction. The correct answer is B. Decreasing aqueous production and increasing uveoscleral outflow. Brimonidine, selective alpha-2 agonist that lowers IOP by both decreasing aqueous production via reduced cyclic AMP in ciliary epithelium and increasing uveoscleral outflow. Contraindicated in neonates and infants, CNS depression. Question 84. Pilocarpine is a miotic that lowers IOP by option A, increasing uveoscleral outflow. Option B, osmotic withdrawal of fluid from anterior chamber. Option C, reducing aqueous production. Option D, opening trabecular meshwork via ciliary muscle contraction. The correct answer is D. Opening trabecular meshwork via ciliary muscle contraction. Pilocarpine, muscarinic agonist, causes ciliary muscle contraction, which opens the trabecular meshwork and increases aqueous outflow. Also causes miosis. Used in angle closure to break the attack. Side effects, myopia, brow ache, retinal detachment, rare. Question 85. Acetazolamide, carbonic anhydrase inhibitor, lowers IOP by option A, increasing uveoscleral outflow. Option B, causing osmotic dehydration. Option C, increasing trabecular outflow. Option D, reducing aqueous production by ciliary body. The correct answer is D. Reducing aqueous production by ciliary body. Acetazolamide inhibits carbonic anhydrase in the ciliary body epithelium, reducing bicarbonate and fluid secretion and decreasing aqueous production. Used systemically in acute angle closure and preoperatively. Side effects, metabolic acidosis, paresthesia, renal stones. Question 86. Fluorescein sodium used in fundus fluorescein angiography is excreted by option A, expired air. Option B, liver only. Option C, kidneys, urine turns yellow for 24 to 36 hours. Option D, bile only. The correct answer is A. Expired air. Fluorescein sodium, intravenous dye used in FFA to image retinal and choroidal vasculature. It is metabolized by the liver but excreted predominantly by the kidneys, turning urine yellow for 24 to 36 hours. Adverse effects, nausea, urticaria, anaphylaxis, rare. Question 87. Which of the following is not an intravitreal anti-VEGF agent used in wet AMD? Option A, dorzolamide. Option B, ranibizumab, Lucentis. Option C, bevacizumab, Avastin. Option D, aflibercept, Eylea. The correct answer is C. Bevacizumab, Avastin. Dorzolamide is a topical carbonic anhydrase inhibitor used for glaucoma, not an anti-VEGF agent. Ranibizumab, bevacizumab, and aflibercept are all anti-VEGF agents used for wet AMD. Question 88. ND. YAG laser is used for all of the following except option A, laser peripheral iridotomy. Option B, penretinal photocoagulation. Option C, vitreolysis of floaters. Option D, posterior capsulotomy for posterior capsular opacification. The correct answer is D. Posterior capsulotomy for posterior capsular opacification. Penretinal photocoagulation for proliferative diabetic retinopathy is performed with argon laser, 532 nanometers green, or diode laser, not ND, YAG laser. ND, YAG, 1064 nanometers, is used for capsulotomy, iridotomy, and vitreolysis. Question 89. Tropicamide, 0.5%, 1%, is a short-acting mydriatic with duration of option A, 7 to 14 days. Option B, 1 to 2 hours. Option C, 4 to 6 hours. Option D, 12 to 24 hours. The correct answer is A. 7 to 14 days. Tropicamide, anticholinergic mydriatic with onset 20 to 30 minutes and duration 4 to 6 hours. Preferred for routine fundus examination. Provides insufficient cycloplagia for refraction in children, cyclopentolate or atropine needed. Question 90. The drug of choice for CMV retinitis in immunocompromised patients is option A, ganciclovir, intravitreal or systemic. Option B, valacyclovir. Option C, foscarnet, second line. Option D, acyclovir. The correct answer is C. Foscarnet, second line. CMV retinitis, AIDS patients, transplant recipients' first-line treatment is ganciclovir, intravitreal implant, intravitreal injection, or systemic intravenous oral valganciclovir. Foscarnet and cidofovir are used for resistant cases or intolerance. Question 91. Myopia is corrected by option A, cylindrical lens. Option B, prisma. Option C, convex plus spherical lens. Option D, concave minus spherical lens. The correct answer is D. Concave minus spherical lens. Myopia, parallel rays converge anterior to the retina, eyeball too long or cornea too steep. Corrected by a concave, diverging, minus lens that moves the focal point posteriorly to the retina. Question 92. The standard testing distance for Snellen visual acuity chart is option A, 1 meter. Option B, 3 meters. Option C, 6 meters, 20 feet. Option D, 4 meters. The correct answer is A. 1 meter. The standard Snellen chart testing distance is 6 meters, equivalent to optical infinity. 6/6, 20/20 means the patient can read at 6 meters what a normal eye reads at 6 meters. Question 93. Presbyopia results from option A, increased vitreous viscosity. Option B, axial elongation of the eyeball. Option C, reduced accommodative amplitude due to loss of lens elasticity with age. Option D, corneal flattening. The correct answer is A. Increased vitreous viscosity. Presbyopia, age-related reduction in accommodation due to progressive hardening, sclerosis of the lens nucleus and weakening of the zonular ciliary muscle mechanism. Near vision becomes blurred around 40 to 45 years. Corrected with plus, reading, lenses or bifocals. Question 94. Astigmatism is corrected by option A, prisma. Option B, spherical concave lens. Option C, spherical convex lens. Option D, cylindrical lens, with or without free air. The correct answer is B. Spherical concave lens. Astigmatism, different refractive powers in different meridians of the cornea or lens. Corrected by cylindrical lenses, toric lenses, that have power in only one meridian, with or without a spherical component for coexisting myopia or hyperopia. Question 95. The unit of measurement of lens power, vergence, is option A, meter. Option B, diopter, D. Option C, prism diopter. Option D, arc minute. The correct answer is B. Diopter, D. Lens power, vergence, is measured in diopters. D is equal to 1 divided by focal length in meters. A lens of plus 2D has a focal length of 0.5 meters. Prism diopter is used for measuring prism deviations. Question 96. Pinhole test improves visual acuity in option A, optic neuritis. Option B, refractive errors, myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism. Option C, macular degeneration. Option D, optic atrophy. The correct answer is B. Refractive errors, myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism. The pinhole eliminates peripheral rays, reducing the blur circle on the retina and improving acuity in refractive errors. If pinhole does not improve acuity, the cause is organic, retinal, optic nerve, or media opacity. Question 97. Emmetropia is defined as option A, perfect binocular vision. Option B, absence of astigmatism only. Option C, presence of refractive error. Option D, state where parallel rays are focused exactly on the retina without accommodation. The correct answer is D. State where parallel rays are focused exactly on the retina without accommodation. Emmetropia, the ideal optical state where parallel rays from infinity are brought to focus precisely on the retina by the relaxed eye. No refractive correction is needed for distance. Question 98. Jackson cross cylinder is used to option A, test stereoacuity. Option B, measure axial length. Option C, determine the axis and power of astigmatic correction. Option D, measure accommodative amplitude. The correct answer is A. Test stereoacuity. The Jackson cross cylinder, plus minus 0.25D or 0.50D, is used to refine the axis and power of the cylindrical correction during subjective refraction. It consists of equal plus and minus cylinders at 90 degrees to each other. Question 99. In hypermetropia, the parallel rays are focused option A, on the optic disc. Option B, anterior to the retina. Option C, posterior to the retina, virtual focus. Option D, exactly on the retina. The correct answer is A. On the optic disc. Hypermetropia, parallel rays converge posterior to the retina, eyeball too short or cornea too flat. Young hyperopes can compensate by accommodating. Corrected with convex, plus, converging, lenses. Question 100. The refractive index of the cornea is approximately option A, 1.5. Option B, 1.336. Option C, 1.0. Option D, 1.376. The correct answer is D. 1.376. The refractive index of the cornea is approximately 1.376. The aqueous humor is 1.336, the lens is 1.386 to 1.406, gradient index, and the vitreous is 1.336. The major refracting surface is the air-cornea interface. Congratulations on completing NEET PG Ophthalmology, Set 1. That was 100 challenging questions spanning ocular anatomy, cornea and anterior segment, glaucoma, retina and vitreous, UV and cataract, neuro-ophthalmology, ocular motility, pediatric ophthalmology, ocular pharmacology, and optics and refraction. How many did you get right? Drop your score in the comments below. If this video helped you, please subscribe to Quiz with Us, hit the like button, and share this with your NEET PG friends. To get the ophthalmology PDF notes with all 100 questions and detailed explanations, WhatsApp us at +9 18907289865 and pay just ₹60 via Google Pay. Set 2 is coming soon, stay tuned, keep studying, and keep winning.